Did you solve this string with 3 pages optimal algorithm? 701. Okay, first we'll see with 3 pages or 3 frames optimal algorithm, and then with 4 frames. So we have just 3 frames, and this length of the string is 20. And these are the pages referred in a sequence. So currently all frames are empty. There is no pages loaded in the frames. So whenever you bring a page to a frame, it is considered as page fault. So this is the row for page fault. So for first page, that is 7, rest of the page frames are free, and this is first page fault. Next page is 0, frame is free, so we can bring that page in free frame. This is second page fault. Same thing for 1, 7, 0. Wait. 7, 0, and 1. And this is third page fault. Is it visible? We are solving with page replacement algorithm optimal. In previous session, we have seen FIFO and LRU. Now here onwards, page replacement algorithm starts. So in case of FIFO, you'll choose page number 7 because it is first in, first out. Even in LRU, if you look back from 2, you want to bring page number 2 to one of these frames, and you have to choose a victim page. Victim page that should be replaced by incoming page. So to decide that, we have to choose a page for replacement, that is with a page replacement algorithm. So in case of FIFO, you might have chosen 7 because it arrived in a queue first. Or for LRU also, when you look at the left hand side of 2, 7 came later. Then first just referred frame is 1, then 0, and 7 is least frequently used. So uh, least recently used. So 7 has been chosen for LRU2. Now for optimal, we look in the future. We look on the right hand side of 2. So for 0, 0 you are going to use early in the future. Then for 1, this is the index for 1, and 7, index for 7 is later than 0 and 1. So again we have to choose 7 as a victim page to bring 2 into memory. So 2, 0, 1, and page faults are 4. Now 0 is already present, so no page fault. 3, now we want to bring 3 into main memory, and these are the pages, so we'll look into the future. 0 we need immediately, then 2 will need later, but 1 we are going to use at the later stage in future. So in compared to 0 and 2. So we have to replace 1 with 3. 0 and
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, roll number 2 is trying to enter the meeting, but she don't have permission.
Ask her to try again.
Okay, ma'am.
Because I'm not getting any request. I send her invitation, ask her to join with the invitation.
Okay, ma'am.
So we replaced 1 with 3 and this is 5th page fault. Now for 0, it is present, so it is page hit, no page fault. We want to bring 4 into memory and currently there are the pages 2, 0 and 3. So to bring 4 into memory, which page should we replace? 2, 0 or 3?
0.
0. Because we look at the right hand side of 4, 2 and 3 we need immediately then 0. So we have to replace 0 with 4 and this is 6th page fault. Now for 2 and 3, these are page hits. To bring 0 into main memory, which page should we replace? 2, 4 or 3?
4.
4. Again, look at the feature, you need 2 and 3 but not 4. So it will be 2, 0 and 3. This is 7th page fault. Now 3 and 2, these are page hits. 3 is present, 2 is also present, so no need to bring page into main memory. It is already present, so this is called page hit. To bring 1, we look into the future, we need 2 and 0. 3 is not required in the future, so 1 will take the place of 3. This is 8th page fault. Now 2 is present, 0 is present, 1 is present. So these 3 are page hit. To bring 7 into main memory, you have to replace 2 because you need 0 and 1. So it is 7, 0 and 1. So total 9 page faults with 3 frames. Now try with 4 frames. Optimal with 4 frames. Mute your mic, Gargi, Ankita, Lavanya. If you have any doubts, then you can unmute and talk. Solve it with optimal algorithm for 4 frames.
Ma'am, is the page fault 8?
Anyone is getting 8 page faults for?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So you understood FIFO, LRU and optimal algorithms, right? Take some more streams and do practice with different frames. We started with virtual memory. Virtual memory is an illusion to every process or user that it has the complete access of memory. The complete process cannot be loaded in main memory, not required to load in main memory for the execution. Only required pages will be bring into main memory. So many processes can be allowed at a time to reside in main memory. So this will increase degree of multi-programming. Virtual memory can be implemented with demand paging and demand segmentation. And in our syllabus, we have seen demand paging. So depending upon the demand of every page, that page is checked whether it is available. If not, then it is brought into main memory. So with this, bring a page into memory only when it is needed. And with this demand paging, it will need less input output requests, then less memory is needed, faster response, and we can allow more users or processes reside in main memory. So if page is needed, refer to it. If it is not in memory, bring it to the memory. But if it is invalid reference, then abort. And we have seen the importance of valid invalid bit. One means the page is in a main memory, on a secondary store, and we can, valid bit means the page is loaded in a main memory, and 0 means page is not loaded in main memory. So if there ever a reference to a page, first reference will be trapped by OS, which is called page fault. OS looks at another table to decide invalid reference, then abort, and just not in main memory, then get a empty frame, check whether the frame is empty. If not, then get empty frame with page replacement algorithm, swap page into a frame, and reset this table, means validation bit which was invalid, make it valid. Page replacement algorithm will find some pages in memory but not really in use and swap it out. It is decided with the algorithm, and performance, we can check the performance of algorithm depending upon number of page faults. So the algorithm which shows minimum number of page fault is called optimal algorithm or best algorithm. Same page may be brought into memory several times. So this is how the sequence of page replacement takes place. Initially, the page is invalid. It is not in main memory, but it is referred. Then it will check whether this page is on a backstore. Yes, this page is in a backstore, and we want to bring this page into main memory. But we didn't have a pre-frame. So suppose this frame is valid, that is, it is in main memory, but we didn't need this frame anymore. So swap out this frame to backstore. So this is the first step, find victim frame, move that frame to backstore, and change the entry from valid to invalid, and bring this page into main memory, change its entry from invalid to valid. We have seen this example 1, 2, 3, 4, this string with LRU, FIFO, and optimal. So this was, we got 9 page faults with 3 frames, FIFO algorithm, first in, first out, and 10 page faults with 4 frames. And we discussed that it is called convoy effect. Increasing memory, that means increasing number of frames, we should get less number of page faults. But in some cases, for some strings, we are not getting such type of small, less page faults. Page faults increased as we increase number of frames. So this effect is called convoy effect. So FIFO algorithm, FIFO replacement shows Belady's anomaly for more number of times than optimal or LRU. What is Belady's anomaly? More frames should show less page faults, but it is showing more page fault. Advantage of FIFO is it's a simple algorithm, simple to understand, simple to implement, simple to simulate, and easy to apply. But disadvantage is it is facing Belady's anomaly. It shows poor efficiency, and it is not able to control number of page faults. Then we have seen least recently used. This algorithm means we'll check in a past which frame is least recently, that can be chosen as a victim page for replacement. We solve this algorithm with 3 frames as well as 4 frames. We got 10 page faults with 3 frames and 9 page faults with 4 frames, 8 page faults with 4 frames. So here when we increase number of frames, we got less number of page faults. But still, we can say that it is simple algorithm, easy to apply, and number of page faults decreased than FIFO algorithm. But it also faces Belady's anomaly for some strings. Most of the time it acts as FIFO, and it is also not able to control page fault. But Belady's anomaly is more in FIFO than LRU. Then we have seen optimal page replacement algorithm. With 3 frames, we got 7 page faults. And with 4 frames, we got 6 page faults for the same string. So compared to FIFO and LRU, optimal is showing less number of page faults and it is not facing Belady's anomaly. But what can be the disadvantage of optimal algorithm? What can be the disadvantage of optimal algorithm? Anyone? Can you guess what can be the disadvantage of optimal algorithm?
We need to check in the future, like even when the reference, a current reference string is not already called, we'll have to check a few steps ahead in the future to see which one comes the last.
But is it always that you means every process know that how much frames or pages it may need in the future if you are working on as a dynamic programming language like Java?
No, I'm not always.
Yes, predicting future is very difficult. Which pages may required in the future if we are working with a dynamic programming environment? How many times that particular program is called or that function is called? It depends upon uh, the program itself and decided at runtime. So every time it is not possible to predict how many times that page is needed or what will be the sequence of reference. This is the string that we are assuming for simulation purpose. Optimal algorithm, we can say that it's a theoretical algorithm. It cannot be implemented in a practical way, even if it is a very efficient algorithm. So advantage is number of page faults are decreased. Belady's anomaly exception is not occurred. It is not available. It is completely eliminated by optimal. The disadvantage is not gives proper result if there is future reference, not a future referred string. If we have a string which is not repeated 1, 2, 3, 4 sequentially, every page is referred only once, then the result is same for all the algorithms. Either you use FIFO, LRU or optimal, you will get the same result if there is no repeat strings. So we can compare these algorithms. FIFO algorithm uses the time when the page bought into main memory. So it depends upon the sequence, in which sequence these pages enter into main memory. Optimal algorithm uses time when the page is to be used in future. And LRU uses associates each page the time that was used, page last use, means in history when that page was last used. So if you try to implement these algorithms either in Java or C or C++, in case of FIFO you need a simple queue, first in first out as the name says. So you can implement FIFO with a simple queue, no need of circular queue. Or for optimal you need to attach it, is like a priority queue. For every new entered page you have to attach its future index, and you have to choose maximum future index for replacement. If that page is used far later in future, that you have to choose for replacement. In case of LRU, again you have to attach every page with its past use time, its index that was used in past, and you have to choose a minimum string. For example, if one page is used at 0th location, 2 page was used at 3rd location, and 3rd page was used in 5th location. So you have to choose the least recently used, that was 0th index. So in case of LRU, you are going to attach every page in a queue with its index, and you have to choose a index with minimum value for replacement. Out of these 3 algorithms, optimal is best algorithm, which gives less page faults, provided every process submits its future references, the pages which it is going to use in future. This is a different term, thrashing. So now we are at the stage of completion of our 3rd unit, and you already have done process scheduling, that is 2nd unit, process management, and we know that the term CPU utilization or multi-programming or degree of multi-programming. So what is degree of multi-programming? What is degree
Number of processes currently in execution in the main memory.
So number of processes currently in execution in main memory is called multi-programming. Yes, you are right, Swati. And what is throughput? Throughput. Number of processes at a given time, how many out of, suppose I have 20 processes currently in execution, and out of those 20 processes, 5 processes completed their execution in that particular time, suppose at 5 seconds. So number of processes completed their execution at a particular time is called throughput. Okay. So what we are trying to achieve with demand paging? We are trying to increase degree of multi-programming. So if a process does not have enough pages, the page fault rate is very high. If a page does not have enough pages, the page fault rate is very high. Are you agree with this statement? If a process does not have enough pages, where enough pages? Not in main memory. The page fault rate is very high, and if page fault rate is very high, how it will affect? It will lead to low CPU utilization, because process is busy with swap in and swap out, that is context switching, and at that time CPU will be idle, so it will decrease CPU utilization. Operating system thinks that it needs to increase degree of multi-programming. Operating system will think that this process page is not there, so add few more processes, and so increase degree of multi-programming, and it will add another process to the system. And what is a thrashing? Thrashing is process busy in swapping pages in and out. I'll show you this graph. On x-axis we have degree of multi-programming, and on y-axis we have CPU utilization. So first operating system has just only one process, and CPU utilization was very low. Then operating system added 2 processes. So when one process is busy with CPU, other process can do its input output. When the first process will go for input output, the second process can use CPU. So it will increase CPU utilization. So operating system thinks it need to add more processes, that means increase degree of multi-programming to increase CPU utilization. So it will continue till certain stage. At certain stage, when you increase processes, CPU utilization will be constant. But at some point, when a process, when operating system add one process to increase degree of multi-programming, CPU utilization suddenly reduced. And this part, when adding more processes to a system leads to low CPU utilization, is called thrashing. Are you getting? So normally when operating system add more processes, it should increase CPU utilization. But due to certain problems like page replacement or page faults or other issues, processes gets busy with swap in and swap out, which leads to low CPU utilization. And even process add operating system thinks that CPU is idle, so let's add more processes to it to improve CPU utilization, but it again add a load to main memory, and all the processes again go into swapping in and out, and this will lead to lowering CPU utilization or decreasing CPU utilization. So this part is called thrashing. So as we have seen, when we increase number of frames, page fault rate should decrease. So initially when page fault, we have 3 frames, page faults were 9 in case of optimal. When we increase number of frames, 4, page fault was 8. 701 string, or in case of 1 0 1 2 3 4 string, we have 9 page faults with 3 frames, and sorry, 7 page faults with 3 frames and 6 page faults with 4 frames. So we increase number of frames, page fault rate is decreasing. So increase number of frames and decrease number of frames. So these are number of frames, lower bound and upper bound. So in some cases, it will remain constant even if you increase number of pages, number of frames. Page faults will be there. We can't make the page faults 0. We can't have infinite memory to allow all pages in a frames. So it will be like contiguous allocation or normal paging or normal segmentation. We are implementing demand paging. So there will be page faults, but we need to control these page faults. We should know what is the acceptable page fault rate. Acceptable page fault rate. If actual rate is too low, process loses frames. If actual rate is too high, process gains frames. So you should know what is the real meaning of these words. If actual rate is low, means if page fault rate is low, you are not getting page faults. That means process loses frames. How? If actual rate is too low, which actual rate? Page fault rate is too low. It's very low. Means no page faults, less page faults for a particular process. So process will lose frames. And if actual rate is too high, then process gains frames. Means if it is for every page it is getting the page fault, means a new frame is allocated to that particular process. And if not required new frame, that means this process is reducing or losing frames. Another considerations for optimization are preparing, means we should know the sequence of pages which we'll need in the future. So process should enter into main memory with this preparation. Then page size selection. So what should be the ideal page size? Page size depends upon page size will affect frame size. If my page size is 8 bytes, my frame size should be of 8 bytes. And I have to divide memory in equally sized frames. So it is depending upon main memory also. So page size selection is very important. It depends upon fragmentation. If you choose very large page size, it will increase internal fragmentation. If you choose very small page size, it will increase external fragmentation. Then table size, which table we are talking here? It is page table. How much pages we can add into a frame, and for that table we should have, suppose I have 4 pages loaded into main memory, so all those 4 pages should be there in page table. So size of page table depends upon page size. Input, output, overhead, and locality. Locality means in which part of memory that page and the frame is stored, page table is stored. I like to show another PPT. Slides are visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
It's just a revision what we have seen up till now. So we have seen a program should be brought into main memory and placed within a process for it to run. Input queue or job queue, collection of processes on the disk that are waiting to brought into main memory to run the program, which is called job queue. User program go through several steps before being run. We have seen all those steps or states: new state, ready to run, then executing, terminated, or waiting for IO. Binding data and instruction to main memory, we have different timings, that is compile time, load time, run time, or execution time. We know that these are the steps in which user program goes through. Source program, for example, .java file, C file, or CPP file. It can be any program, not necessarily only programming language code. It can be a Word document, it can be a paint, it can be a video file, it can be an audio file, any program, any user code, user source program. Now we'll take example of programming language code, say .java file. Then we have compiler, Java C compiler, which compiles it and convert it to class, which is called object module. In case of .c file, turbo C, TC, or GCC compiler convert your C file to obj file, which is called object module. Then we have linker, which links with other object modules which we included, which we used from library. Say in case of C language has include stdio.h, so we are using printf, scanf code which are there in a library file. Or in case of Java, we are using system.out.println, which is in java.lang package. So it will link all those object modules that with it, and try to resolve all the addresses. And load module will ask loader to load this program into main memory for execution. And sometimes this is loaded dynamically. Some libraries which are not used for compilation can be used at the time of execution, which is called dynamic linking and dynamic loading. And this is execution time, when your program is executing and producing results. We have seen the concept of logical address and physical address. Logical address, which is generated by CPU. It is also called virtual address because it is the programmer's view. How programmer look at the code. Programmer didn't know where this program is actually loaded in memory. While writing a program, say assembly language program or any low level language program, programmer has to assume some address and allocate all those addresses according to the start address. Or even compiler or linker loader assume some addresses for translating your program, high level language program, into low level language program. Even compiler didn't know where this program will be finally loaded into main memory. So these addresses which are assumed for writing a code or translating a code is called logical addresses or virtual addresses. And physical address, which is seen by memory management unit. Memory management unit load your program actually in main memory, starting with some particular address, and that address is physical address. And all the addresses of your code, either it is instruction or data, need to be translated to physical addresses, and that is done by memory management unit. So it is memory. What is memory management unit? It is a hardware device. It's a hardware device which maps virtual address to physical address. And we have seen memory management unit. It has a relocation register. Relocation register means what is the new address. So it converts your physical address to new address with the help of relocation register. And it has also one limit register which protects this translation from violating memory errors. So suppose logical address is 346 So a relocation register, that is new location, is say 14,000. And this value is added to relocation register and you'll get physical address. This is very simple address translation scheme. CPU generates a logical address. This is address is added with logic value in a relocation register and you'll get the physical address. Then we talked about backing store, roll in, roll out, and major time in swapping is transfer time. Then transfer time depends upon how much size of memory that we are transferring from one location to other location. That is from main memory to backstore. So this is swapped out. P1 is swapped out, P2 is swapped in. Lazy swapper, this term I think I missed. In demand paging, we have seen bring page into main memory only when it is needed. Then page is needed, refer to it. And the term is lazy swapper, never swaps a page into memory unless page will be needed. So this swapper that deals with the pages is called pager or lazy swapper. So in case of normal paging, the swapping is not required. All the pages are loaded into main memory. But in case of demand paging, swapper will be called only when that there is a page fault or page is not in main memory. See here. In case of contiguous disk management space, transfer of a page's memory to contiguous disk management space. This is program A. It has 4 pages. So this complete program is swapped out into a backstore and stored contiguously on disk space. Disk space is backstore disk. And this program B is swapped in. All these 4 pages are swapped in and loaded into main memory. We talked about valid invalid bit. I had explained you this diagram. This is from, these slides are from Galvin only. You can find this in Galvin chapter number 7 or 8. I think chapter number 8. So this is a process which has 8 pages and we have 16 frames physical memory, and page table, size of page table is also 8 pages. And there are only 3 pages in main memory, A, C and F. Page number A is 0th page, so it is valid because it is in main memory. Page number C is second page, so second page is loaded in 6th frame, so it is valid. And page number F is 5th page, which is loaded in 9th frame, so it is valid. Rest of the pages, page number 1, that is B, is in backstore. Page number 3, D, it is not here, it is in backstore. So page 1, 3, 4, 6 and 7, these are invalid pages because these pages are not in main memory. So a memory management unit should not try to convert logical address to physical address, which will lead to the garbage value. And this is how page fault is handled. These are the steps in handling the page faults. One particular page is needed. Then first we'll check whether this page is in a memory. If this bit is valid, the page is executed and a result is produced. Otherwise, if page is invalid bit is checked, it will this is trapped by operating system. Operating system will check whether this page is in a backstore. If this page is available in backstore, it will process further. Otherwise, this operation is aborted. Now the page is present in backstore. We need to bring this page into free frame. If the frame is free, then bring it directly to free frame and make that entry of that page from invalid to valid. This is called resetting page table. And whatever the number of this frame, we have to add this number in page table and restart the instruction and execute the instruction. But if frame is not free, we have to apply page replacement algorithm, make that frame free, and then bring the page into main memory. If there is no free frame, we will apply page replacement algorithm. And we have seen these 3 page replacement algorithms. FIFO, optimal, and LRU. This is the example of base and limit register. Base is base address from where the process or page is stored, and limit is maximum address that it can achieve. It should not go beyond this limit. So first step in page translation or address translation is add logical address to physical address and check whether it is less than limit. So address, first add with base address and base plus limit. The generated address should be less than base plus limit. Then only it is a valid physical address. Otherwise, it has to generate error. Trap to the operating system, monitor addressing errors. We have seen this contiguous allocation. Problem with contiguous allocation. Three algorithms we have seen: first fit, best fit, and worst fit. We solve this problem with first fit, best fit, and worst fit. We have also seen the terms fragmentation, internal and external. Internal is within a block which is allocated to the process. It is not, we cannot allocate the block even if it is free to any other process, because it is the complete block is allocated to a particular process. It is called internal fragmentation. And external fragmentation, memory is available to allocate a process, but it is not in a contiguous manner. Then we have seen normal paging or classical paging. Divide physical memory into fixed size blocks called frames. Divide logical memory, that is process, into blocks which are same size, which are called pages. And we need page table with page number and offset. This is page table, page number and offset. And this is how address translation takes place in paging. Page number will point to the page table, from where we'll get a frame number. That page is loaded into this frame, and this frame is nothing but offset, starting address of that particular page, and D is the limit or current offset. So page number will lead to the frame and D is the offset, and this is how address translation takes place in paging. We have seen this with one example, paging example. This is how page table is implemented. We need page table base register and page table length register. Sometimes for accessing every address, we need two memory accesses. To reduce this two memory access problem, operating system can add a high speed or fast lookup hardware, which is called cache memory, which is also called as associative memory or translation look-aside buffers, which stores the frequently referred pages. So there is no need to go to the page table and read frame number. So the frame number of the frequently referred pages is stored directly in TL bits. So you need only one memory access. Note that this is the hardware, paging hardware with translation look-ahead buffer. Logical address is same, page number and offset, but these two things happens parallelly. Page number is searched in page table as well as in translation look-aside buffers. So if that page number is present, it is called TLB hit, and you'll get a physical address directly. If TLB is missed, then you have to follow traditional step, search a page table, get a frame, then add this frame number with the offset and get the physical address. Here protection is implemented with valid invalid bit. So if all the pages are loaded in memory, all the bits will be valid bits. And page number 6 and 7, which is not there for that particular process, then these bits are invalid bits. We have seen virtual memory. It is illusion to expand memory view onto secondary store, moving pages, frames between memory and hard disk, and we are implemented with demand paging. We also seen the concept of segmentation. In case of paging, logical memory is divided equally sized blocks. Even physical memory is divided into equally sized blocks. But in case of segmentation, process or program is divided logical blocks. Size of segments may not be the same. Even when we load into main memory, it can be loaded as per the size. Complete segment should be loaded in main memory at a time. For implementing segmentation, we also need segment table to be loaded in main memory, and segment table should have segment table base register and segment table length register. And segment table consists of two things, or two columns: segment number and offset. That is called base and limit. So segment table can support relocation. It is dynamic and it is implemented by segment table. It allows sharing. Two processes can share segments, and segment number can be same. Allocation is done with first fit or base fit. Allocation of a segment to a memory, physical memory, is done with base fit or first fit, and it shows external fragmentation. Protection is with the help of validation bit. Validation bit is 0, means it is illegal segment. The segment is not loaded in main memory. And every segment we can give a read, write, and execute privilege. Read means note that segments can be shared, and when it is shared, to protect that particular segment from unwanted modification, these privileges can be given. Read means other process can just read this segment. Write means can modify, and execute means can run and produce results. Protection bit is associated with the segment. Code sharing occurs at the segment level. Segments vary in length. Memory allocation is dynamic, and storage allocation problem. So segmentation example here, we have seen this example, how address is translated. Similar to page replacement or page translation, here logical addresses, instead of PD, it is segment number and offset. Segment number is a pointer to the segment table, index to the segment table. It has limit and base value. Limit value, it will check whether it is within a limit. This offset should be in a limit. If yes, then this offset is added with the base and you will get physical address. Otherwise, it will trap addressing error. Is it clear how segment address is translated from logical to physical address? We have seen one example from previous slide. This is another example. Suppose this process has 5 segments, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is the limit and base. Note that limit is length of the segment. So base is 400, add this limit, and it is 241000. Your translated address for segment 0 should not go beyond this limit. Limit can be the length. That is the length of the segment. Similarly, for segment 3, this is the base 3200, and length is 1100 or limit. So if you add 1100 here, you will get 4300, which is the limit of segment 3. This is how these segments are loaded into main memory. We have seen this example. Segment editor segment is shared between these two processes, P2 and P1. And note that this should appear in the segment table for each process. So for segment 0, which is shared, note that limit and base is same in segment table, but it is loaded only once in a main memory. So memory, virtual memory that is larger than physical memory, we are creating this illusion. So this is a memory map. This is the virtual memory. All the pages, we assume that all the pages are loaded in main memory, but it is not. If that page is not available, we get that page in from a backstore into main memory. So this is virtual memory, which allows all the pages, and physical memory, which allows limited pages. Where the rest of the pages will loaded, it is loaded on the backstore. So we in PPL we have seen this memory map. We have stack memory, heap memory, and static memory. And stack memory and heap memory, they are growing towards each other. And this memory, data and code, is loaded into static memory. We have seen just concept of page fault and page replacement algorithm. We can go through these diagrams very carefully. Here we didn't have page number 1, which is invalid. The instruction is load M and the current page is not available. So check which page can be loaded, which page can be brought into main memory, and bring that page into main memory and make that invalid bit valid. We have seen this algorithm. You can check this. For the same string, we use this string 701203. This string with FIFO algorithm. These are the number of frames. With one frame, only one frame is available, you are getting 12 page faults. If 2 frames are available, you are getting 12 page faults. For 3 frames, you get 9 page faults. For 4 frames, you are getting 10 page faults. 5 frames, 6 frames, 7 frames, you are getting 5 page faults. So you can draw such a graph and you can show, sometimes it is giving you even increasing number of frames, you are getting more number of page faults. This is with optimal and LRU. We discussed thrashing. A process is busy in swapping pages in and out, and in short, it will decrease CPU utilization. This is when we increase degree of multiprogramming at a certain point, CPU utilization will reduce. Any queries in memory management unit? Password for today's attendance is thrashing. T capital.
Ma'am, is it TH or TR?
TRASHING. Thrashing. Oh, TH. No, H is not required.